My name is Irene. I'm a youth employment specialist, and I'll be your host today in today's episode on the 5 common mistakes that we make when we are pursuing or choosing our vocational training paths. So let's dive in. So the first common mistake that we make is falling into pressure from our societal peers or from our parents. We have this situation of 2 typical Kenyan parents. I'll start with the first one, Mama Jaden. Mama Jaden is our common parent that we know of. Mama Jaden is the kind of parent who is very supportive. Matter of fact, when the child says, nataka kupursue influencing or podcasting, the parent is ready to invest in whatever career choices that they want. Mama Jaden is so encouraging of his children or her children that whatever parts or whatever traditional or non-traditional roles the children were ready to pursue, they are very much okay. Then we have our parent number 2, and this is the typical Kenyan parent. Let's call them Baba Kingori. Baba Kingori is the kind of parent mwenye he's always against unconventional vocational choices. For example, comes Kingori. Kingori has gotten an A+ in their final exams at high school. Lakini Kingori wants to pursue, for example, a career in graphic design. So Baba Kingori is the parent who will want to go against their children's opinions. Matter of fact, whenever the child has a different opinion from the career path that they have selected from them, they want to criticize or to push their children towards the career path that they have for them. So these are the 2 typical Kenyan parents that we encounter. And many of us, sisi mavijana, we always fall into this particular trap of falling into our societal or our parental pressure when we are deciding on what vocational training path that we want to pursue. So how can we avoid this pitfall? Number 1, you need to understand your self-interests. What are the things that you like? What are the things that you do not like? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? So that when your parent is coming into the picture, you already understand yourself and you have a clear opinion on what are some of the things that you don't like or you like. Remember that in life, having a great academic achievement does not necessarily mean that you will succeed. Remember our previous episode around demystifying the myths around TVETs. We realized that one of the stories that we had around Patel and Kamau, we realized that academic achievement does not even result into success in your career. So whatever interests and whatever hobbies or passions that you have, you can pursue them without having to fall into the societal pressure. And this leads me to my next common mistake: neglecting to reflect on what exactly you want in your life. Many of us do not reflect or take time to think and ask ourselves very important questions. Like, for example, what are my hobbies? What are my interests? How do they align with the career goal that I want to pursue? What exactly are my values, and what does this tell me about the kind of vocational training pathways that can lead me to that particular goal that I have? And when you'll discover that when you understand yourself, when you understand your values and your interests and your hobbies, you can be able to narrow down on the choice options that you have. Not only that, you can be able to safeguard yourself against entering into a space in which you are finding yourself that it is very diluted and that you have very limited chances of getting either a job opportunity or even getting clients if you're entering into the entrepreneurial space. So some of the tips that we have for you for reflecting and getting to understand your passion and your interest is, why don't you take some time to talk to some of the professionals who have already engaged in that particular space. For example, if you're interested in pursuing kitu kama carpentry or even electrical, why don't you talk to your local area electrician? Muulize hii kazi. For example, how much do you get in a day or in a month? Is it something that is highly demanded, ama kuna ile alternative options atakwambia that you can pursue even within the specific vocational trades kama carpentry? You'll come to realize that there are certain aspects of carpentry, like for example, fixing your cabinetry or remodeling kitchens, that is very highly lucrative for young people, that we fail to not get to understand from the initial state. This leads us to our third mistake that we find most young people failing to or undertaking whenever they are researching on their vocational trades. Neglecting or failing to do the research on the market trends. A lot of young people, we just get into the whimsical and the idea that whatever job or opportunity that is there can be able to give us money. But do we get the time to research which opportunities are most lucrative? Do we get to understand the industries that are in demand? What are their growth perspective? Do you go to ask those people who are already in that particular trade whether there are already sufficient people for this trade, or whether there's something alternative that I can be able to do? Do you find out, for example, from those who are already training in that particular area, like the career counselors, do you get to talk to them and ask them to guide you on what exactly you can be able to do when you pursuing this particular trade? And I'd like to remind you guys of a recent story that we had. Remember the time that one of our security companies, uko Embakasi, walikuwa wame call for vacancies, about 150 of them, and by 8 a.m. when they were starting off the job interviews, thousands of young people turned out, and what they got was not just opportunities for 150, but they got that the skills that the people who are turning out were more than the available job opportunities. Inakwambia nini kama kijana? Number one, there are certain industries that are already diluted, and if you fail to do your research well, or if you fail to gather the information, you might find yourself either being part of the statistic of the thousands of young people who are looking for those job opportunities, or you find yourself being in a place where you're not even interested. You're not getting any job opportunity, so you look for whatever works, any job yote tu. So can we be able to do the research before we pursue any kind of opportunity? Okay. So our final and our fourth mistake that we get to see a lot of young people pursuing is failing to pursue your money and instead pursuing your passion. I know this is very uncommon, but a lot of us pursue our passion over money. We are not saying that there's a problem with pursuing your passion, and we are not saying that there is no problem with you pursuing a highly employable job or a high income job opportunity. What we are saying is that you need to strike a balance between passion and money. Kama job haikupei pesa, it's time to think about finding an alternative where you can be able to pursue something that is highly in demand and something that is able to give you a well-off paying opportunity. So even as you pursue, as you decide what vocational training area that you need to pursue, do you think about whether this area is giving you the kind of income, if you're pursuing it as a business, ama itakupea the kind of salary that you want if you're looking at getting employed in the long term? So that is one of the most common pitfalls, even including myself. I found myself having to battle between passion over money. But again, we are saying you do not need to make that decision. You need to strike that balance. So let's look at the final mistake that all of us make. Some of us are in vocational training paths, or we're in careers where we are finding that it is not working. You have already gotten into that path for like 8 years, lakini it is not working for you. You're not feeling it as it used to be. And so we limit ourselves, sisi kama vijana, when we are pursuing something that we are feeling that it is no longer serving to your needs. You need to adapt and change with the trending times. That is mistake number 5. Failing to adapt and change to what is in demand in the market. Vijana, we have so many opportunities and so many things that you can explore. Don't be tied down to one thing. Kama kitu haiwork for you, you need to think about, you need to go into that place where we were saying you need to research and discover other alternatives and options that you have that can engage you into making what is your lifetime goal. If your goal, for example, is to get a lot of money, that is what you need to pursue. If your goal, for example, is to fulfilling your dream, that is what you need to pursue. But history ya kukaa into one place without moving forward for the rest of your life, we need to stop that, and we need to pursue more alternatives, and we need to be flexible. Sai ICT and technology imechange a lot of things right now. Job opportunities or businesses are not the way they used to be. If you're not, for example, using AI, you cannot expect to be in competition with somebody who's already tapping into AI to, for example, get content for their social media or even get content for whatever thing that they want. So are you able to adapt with what are the changing trends? What are the newest things that are there? And are you able to rediscover yourself and find other better alternatives that can be able to give you whatever interests or hobbies or passions that you have or you're currently pursuing? So these are the common mistakes that we find ourselves making. And it is very important for us, Kama young people, we get to understand ourselves first. Let's get into that moment of self-reflection. Number 2, let's stop falling into that pressure from the society or from parents around what we can choose and what we cannot choose. Academic achievement is not a determinant of life success. Number 3, we need to gather information on what is in demand in the market. Wewe kuchagua based on what you've heard from social media ama kwa wenzako is not the right thing to do. Number 4, have you had time to rediscover and reflect on what is working for you right now or what is not working for you? And are you able to adapt to the changing times? That whatever is in the trend, you are able to adapt your strategies to that. And number 5, have you had time to just self-reflect or talk to somebody who is able to guide you and show you what is currently working within that space? So even as we pursue our various trades, let us get to avoid these pitfalls that we always make, and let us continue to pursue what is of best to us. Tell us on the comment section whether you have made any of the 5 mistakes that I've just mentioned. You can also join the conversation using the hashtag TVET Skills Inalipa, Wezesha Vijana Tuomoke na Skills na Job. And you can follow us on CRS and at CRS Kenya on Twitter, or on Facebook, LinkedIn, and X, Wezesha Vijana program. You can also reach out to us, tell us whether you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to share this with your friends and your families. Remember, you should avoid these 5 pitfalls or mistakes that we've just mentioned and continue to engage with us. See you on the next episode. My name is Irene, and we'll continue to update you on the latest episodes. Bye.